Hi friends, here's how you mix a project on the iPad version of GarageBand. Now this is somewhat similar to the iPhone version and the Mac version with some slight differences, but this is, in a nutshell, how you use the iPad version. So I'm going to open the program first. I'm going to select this song to work on. So it should come up. Now let's say I want to see each of the tracks I have rather than the instrument itself like we see here. What you do is you go to the top and you hit this button here, and now you see your tracks. Okay, so as you can see, I've got some drums, I've got some strings, I've got some acoustic guitar, some bass, some piano, and some electric guitar. And we're going to listen to what they all sound like together first before we do anything. And just so you know, these are all what we call software instruments, which means they're electronic, and I recorded them in GarageBand. You can also record acoustic instruments using the microphone on the iPad or by wiring it into the iPad, which is a topic for another day. Or you can use loops, which are pre-created tracks that are available on GarageBand. But what I talk about in the video can be used on acoustic instruments and loops, as well as the software instruments that I have here. So, we're going to play it back and give it a listen. Okay, not too bad. But what if I want to edit some individual tracks? Here's how you do it. First thing, swipe to the right on any of them and you'll see some controls appear. The slider is the volume of that individual track. So if I move this, it changes the volume of the electric guitar. And I think I might want to lower it because it sounded a bit loud compared to everything else when I played it back. Over here is a headphone icon. That means that if it's selected, only the tracks with the headphones selected are what you're going to hear. So right now, if I hit play, all I would hear is the electric guitar. Similarly, if I hit the speaker icon with a slash through it, that's the mute button. It means everything else except the electric guitar will play. And I'm going to mute some things. Just muted the drums and the strings. Now it's only drums because that's soloed. So as you're editing, it can be helpful to hear only certain things at certain times if that's what you want. So, let's say I want to lower the volume of the guitar, so I'm going to slide the slider to the left a little bit, and I might bring the volume of the strings up a little bit. So I'm going to do that. Let's give it a listen and see how it sounds. Okay, that's the idea. I might make some further changes on that, but that's a little closer to what I want. All right, so if you want to do more specific editing, you can hit the 3 slider tool at the top next to the FX, and that will give you more detailed controls for whichever track is selected. Right now, it's the guitar. So we already talked about track volume. Track pan means you can push the sound of a particular track either farther towards the left or right speaker. It's more noticeable if you're listening with headphones than if you're listening on an iPad. But let's say I want the electric guitar to only come out of the right speaker. I would slide the pan to the right. And let's say I only want the strings to come out of the left speaker. I would tap that track and slide that to the left. And then if you listen in headphones, you'd hear the strings on the left, the guitar on the right, and everything else in the middle. There's your mute and solo functions I already talked about for that track. And if you want to add some echo or some reverb, you use these sliders down here. And you can also boost the bass or the treble or the compressor. And if you're editing the sound quality of a specific track, I strongly suggest soloing that track so you can hear exactly what it sounds like as you change it. So I'm going to solo the strings right now, so that is all I hear as I edit it. I'm going to put some echo on. Now I'm going to boost the treble and boost the bass. So you see how those controls can edit the sound of an individual track. So you do that for each of your tracks while they're solo to get them sounding the way you want them to sound. Then you go back to the project as a whole. You give it a listen, then do your final settings of your volume, and then when you're satisfied with how it sounds, it will sound much improved to what it sounded like earlier. If you want some more detailed edits, you can hit the FX button But that's a topic for another day. Hope you had fun. Have a good one.